You ever see someone try to lash out and it just backfires on them completely? Well, today we're diving into this incredible piece of ancient wisdom that really nails that idea. It comes from a classic Buddhist text, and it's got this beautiful, poetic title, To Fling Dust into the Wind.
So, to really get our heads around this, let's start with a simple, almost physical question. What actually happens when you spit at the sky?
That question leads us straight to our first powerful image, an ancient metaphor that's just so visual, spitting at the sky.
Okay, so here's the setup from the text itself. It makes this wild comparison. It says that an evil person trying to harm a wise, virtuous person, a sage, is just like someone spitting straight up at the sky. Right away, you have our two main characters, the aggressor and the sage, and this totally futile act that connects them.
I mean, just think about the physics here for a second. That spit is never going to reach its target, right? The sky is, well, it's the sky. It's massive, it's untouchable, it couldn't care less about this tiny, insignificant gesture.
And this is the brilliant part, the immediate payback. The spit doesn't just disappear. Nope. Good old gravity takes over and it falls right back down onto the person who spit it out. The harm they meant for someone else lands right back on them. A simple law of physics becomes this deep moral lesson.
But the text doesn't just stop there. It really wants to drive the point home, so it gives us a second, parallel image, dust against the wind.
So the text presents this other scenario. Imagine someone scooping up a handful of dirt and flinging it into a strong wind. You can almost feel that, can't you? That gritty feeling of trying to throw something when the wind is just blasting it right back at you?
And you guessed it, just like the spit, the attack completely fails. The dust goes nowhere near its intended target. That person over there, totally untouched, totally fine, just like the sky was a minute ago.
And here's that crucial pattern again. The action is 100% self-defeating. All that dust just gets blown right back into the thrower's face. The very force they tried to use against someone else, the wind, is what delivers the consequence right back to them.
So these two metaphors, they're not just about random actions. They're describing a dynamic between two very specific types of people. Let's take a closer look at the two actors in this little drama, the doer and the sage.
First up, you have the doer. The text calls this the evil person. This is the one who starts it all, right? Their whole identity in this story is defined by their malicious actions. The spitting, the dust flinging, that's who they are.
And then you have their target, the sage, the virtuous person. Now here's what's so important. The sage isn't defined by fighting back or defending themselves. They're defined by being unaffected. Their virtue, their very nature, is what makes the harm just slide right off. They're like the sky or the wind. They exist on a plane that's totally beyond the reach of that kind of pettiness.
So when you put these two characters together, the doer and the sage, the story always points to one single unavoidable conclusion, an inevitable outcome.
These images, they're more than just clever little sayings. The spit falling back, the dust blowing back, they are pointing to a single, fundamental truth about the way harm actually works.
And here it is. This is the core message of the whole thing. The sage cannot be harmed. Evil actions will inevitably destroy the doer. It's such a powerful statement on cause and effect. It's not just that the harm gets deflected. The point is that the very act of trying to cause harm is, by its very nature, self-destructive.
Okay, so what do we do with this? What's the real lesson for us today, carried in that wind? If we boil all this down, I think there are three really big takeaways. First, harm directed at others tends to boomerang right back to where it started. It's almost like a law of nature. Second, real virtue is its own shield. The sage doesn't need to put up a fight because their character is the defense. And finally, the ultimate price of malice isn't just failing to hurt someone else, it's destroying yourself in the process.
You know, this isn't just some dusty old parable. It's a dynamic that plays out all the time, everywhere. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. Where do you see the dust blowing back on the thrower in our world today? Thanks for joining me.